Look up at the sky and you'll notice something interesting. Some airplanes roar across the horizon with smooth, sleek engines mounted beneath their wings, while others fly with large spinning propellers that are impossible to miss. Both types of aircraft can carry passengers, transport cargo, or perform military missions, yet they rely on completely different ways of producing thrust. So why do some airplanes use jet engines while others still depend on propellers? Is one simply newer and better, or does each have advantages that make it the right choice for certain situations? In this video, we're exploring what's the difference between a jet engine and a propeller engine. The answer lies in physics, engineering, fuel efficiency, and the speeds each aircraft is designed to achieve. Let's dive in, right here, on History of Simple Things. At first glance, both engine types appear to accomplish the same task, moving an aircraft forward through the air. However, they do so in very different ways. A propeller engine creates thrust by spinning large blades that pull or push air backward, much like a fan moving air across a room. As the propeller accelerates a large volume of air rearward, the aircraft moves forward according to Newton's third law of motion. Jet engines, on the other hand, generate thrust by compressing incoming air, mixing it with fuel, igniting the mixture, and forcing hot exhaust gases out the back at extremely high speed. Instead of relying on external blades to move air, the engine itself becomes a powerful source of thrust. Although both systems ultimately move air backward to move the airplane forward, the way they produce that airflow is fundamentally different, and this difference influences everything from speed to fuel consumption and operating altitude. Propeller-driven aircraft have remained popular for over a century because they are remarkably efficient at relatively low flight speeds. The spinning blades move a large amount of air without requiring enormous amounts of fuel, making them ideal for short regional flights, training aircraft, agricultural aviation, bush planes, and cargo operations into remote areas. They also produce strong thrust even during takeoff, allowing many aircraft to use shorter runways than comparable jets. Another advantage is that propeller engines are generally less expensive to purchase, operate, and maintain. Modern propeller aircraft often use turboprop engines, which combine a gas turbine with a reduction gearbox that spins the propeller. While the engine itself is technically a turbine, most of its power goes into turning the propeller instead of creating direct jet thrust. This clever design offers many benefits of turbine reliability while maintaining the efficiency that propellers are known for. Jet engines become increasingly efficient as aircraft fly faster and higher. Unlike propellers, whose blade tips eventually approach the speed of sound and lose efficiency due to shock waves and increased drag, jet engines thrive in environments where aircraft cruise at around 800 to 900 kilometers per hour. At cruising altitude, the thinner air creates less aerodynamic drag, allowing jet-powered aircraft to travel long distances more efficiently than propeller-driven airplanes at those speeds. Modern commercial airliners almost exclusively use high-bypass turbofan engines, which produce most of their thrust by accelerating a large volume of air around the engine core rather than relying solely on hot exhaust gases. This design significantly improves fuel efficiency while reducing noise compared to earlier jet engines. The combination of speed, range, and high-altitude performance explains why nearly every major passenger airliner relies on jet propulsion. Many people assume jet engines are automatically more fuel efficient because they power today's largest airliners, but the reality depends heavily on how the aircraft is used. For shorter routes and lower cruising speeds, propeller aircraft often consume significantly less fuel per trip than jets. That's why many regional airlines continue to operate turboprops on flights lasting under an hour. However, as flight distance and speed increase, jet aircraft become the more economical option because they complete journeys much faster while maintaining efficient high-altitude cruise performance. Cost is another important consideration. Jet aircraft are usually more expensive to manufacture, purchase, and maintain due to their advanced engineering and higher operating requirements. Noise also differs noticeably. Propellers create the familiar chopping sound of spinning blades, while jet engines produce the powerful roar associated with fast-moving exhaust and high-speed airflow. Modern engine technology has greatly reduced noise from both types, but each still has its own distinctive sound. It's tempting to think that jet engines represent the ultimate evolution of aviation technology, leaving propeller aircraft behind. In reality, there is no universally better engine. Engineers always balance speed, efficiency, operating cost, runway requirements, maintenance, payload, and intended mission before selecting the right propulsion system. If the goal is crossing continents quickly with hundreds of passengers, a jet engine is clearly the better choice. If the mission involves reaching isolated communities, flying short routes economically, or operating from small airstrips, a propeller-driven aircraft is often the superior solution. Aviation has never been about finding a single perfect engine, but about choosing the right tool for the job. Even as sustainable aviation fuels, hybrid electric systems, and hydrogen-powered aircraft continue to develop, this principle is unlikely to change. Different missions demand different technologies, and that's exactly why both jet engines and propeller engines continue to share our skies. The next time you watch an airplane take off, look at what powers it. Propeller engines are best for lower speeds, shorter distances, and efficiency, while jet engines are built for speed, altitude, and long-range travel. Neither is better. They serve different purposes. That difference explains why aircraft vary so much and shows how aviation has evolved to meet many transportation needs, from bush planes on remote airstrips to airliners crossing oceans. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.